The following may contain strong opinionated views. The views and opinions expressed on this show does not necessarily reflect the views or the opinions of any social media or broadcast platform.
Hi, welcome to the Coffee Hour, a show that involves you in verbal interaction. Sports with Brian Camp. So settle in with coffee in hand and enjoy the Coffee Hour. Now here's your host, Frank Allan.
Well, TGIF, thank God it's Friday, and what a Friday it is, and we're all here together, getting together for a little cup of coffee and a whole lot of fun. We're so glad to have you along with us. The name of the show is called The Coffee Hour, and I'm going to be with you for a whole full hour. We're serving up coffee, donuts, bagels, the whole 9 yards. Of course, you have to bring your own, but nevertheless, we want you to enjoy it with us. We're going to be here, and the purpose of the show is to getting started and get you involved in the show too, because what we're going to do is talk to you and you can talk to others as we come along. Now, we get everybody involved in the show because it's a live program and everyone is welcome, including your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, everybody. So haul them all in and just take the time out to enjoy. We're so glad to have you aboard with us this Friday. We've got a lot of things to talk about. We've got things going on. And for those of you who have been along with us for all of these years, we thank you so much. Now, I want to take time to chat with people who are possibly new to this show. And if you're here for the very first time, well, let me show you how it operates. I, as the host of the show, of course, my name is Frank Allan. We're going to get started. I am into my prep mode. So while I'm prepping, what you can do as I'm doing it is to use your keyboard on your computer or your cell phone or your tablet or whatever device that you use that has a keyboard and a screen. And you can type in whatever you want to talk about. I'll see you right there on that big screen. And of course, I will acknowledge you because that's what it's all about. Free exchange of opinions and ideas. And I know you have a lot of those. And you can talk to us and you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait. I'm not going to say ready, set, go. You can do it right now if you want, if you have anything to say, and I'll see you. And of course, I will entertain all of those thoughts. And if there's anything in particular that you want to talk about, even though I may bring out something, I'll start a conversation because, you know, what would the host be? What kind of host would I be if I don't get it going, right? So I'll start off a conversation. You don't have to linger on that conversation all day, which we're not going to do. And if you have anything particular that you want to talk about, I don't care what it is. It's in the news. You can talk about your pets, your girlfriends, your boyfriends, your wives, your uncles, your aunts, your husbands, whatever, you know. We'll make a conversation out of it. It may be interest to all of us, and we'll just dive in there because all of us share a lifestyle and maybe not the same lifestyle, but we all have one thing in common. We all have a lifestyle, and maybe that's something that you want to talk about. Like I said, it's all open forum, and you can talk about anything you want. Now, since you are new, not only that we're on Facebook, we're on 3 different places. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram as well. And so any 3 of those platforms will get you there. You could be involved with the show. You'll see everything the other person will see. If you're on Instagram, you'll see what we'll see on Facebook and on YouTube. Nothing changes. You know, it's not even a delay. It's all in one sync. Okay. So there you go. And so if you happen to be watching us on Facebook, you're here for the very first time, you're watching us on Facebook, take the time right now to send a notification to your friend. Now, that's what they call a tag. You can tag this show to your friends. And once you tag it to your friends, they'll see that tag is coming from you. They'll know it's from you because you're a familiar face with them. They'll click onto that tag and it brings them right to us. And you can tag as many as you want. You don't have to tag everyone that's on your account because you may have too many to do that. But what you can do, now that you're here and you know how it works so far, next week when you come back, you can add a few more and a few more and a few more and so forth and so on. Okay. And then until we get enough people coming in. Now, if they like what they see, if they like what they hear, of course, they'll come back again and again, just like you. So that's what we have going. So do that right now. Tag your friends. For those of you who are watching us on YouTube, I want to take the time to welcome you, first of all. And second of all, we want you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. How do you do that, you say? Well, I'll explain that. All you have to do is take your mouse and drag it over with the arrow pointing at that little thingy, as they would say, called subscribe. It says subscribe there. It's in black border and it's in white print. Subscribe. Put your arrow onto that, click onto it, and it's there. Now, there's no cost, no obligations, no nothing involved. All right. It's all free of charge. And the reason why we want you to do that is, first of all, we want to find out how many people are actually following us. We want to keep tabs on that. And we do that each week. We keep tabs on who's actually there for us. And the second reason is now that you subscribe from here on in, as long as you're on under the subscription from here on in, every week when we come on do the live show and you happen to forget about it, well, you're going to get a reminder. A reminder is going to pop up. An instant message is going to pop up and saying, oh, he's on the air. It's airtime. Click onto that and it'll bring you right to the channel itself and you don't have to miss a thing. Simple as that. All right. So you do have a benefit of subscribing to our YouTube channel, and we hope that you do. And for those of you who are watching us on Instagram, you don't have to do anything. The only thing that you have to do is to keep the word percolating in your community. Tell your family, friends, and relatives about the show. Let them get involved as well. And of course, if they like what they see, if they like what they hear, they'll come back again and again too, just like you. All right. So we want to keep that going. All right. And of course, tell the bus driver that you ride the bus with every day. If he's off, get them going. Now, some of you may be at work right now, right? Depending on where you are, you may be on your coffee break at this particular moment, all right? Which is okay, but we want you to take that coffee break with us. I know normally if you have that 10 or 15 or 20-minute coffee break that you are allotted, you roam around in the office and you mingle with friends. But today, just sit at your desk, enjoy a coffee, and then when the coffee break is over, whenever that is, of course, you could still be at your desk, still watch the show, and go back to work and do what they call multitasking, right? Because that's what we want you to do. And bring those guys over there at the water cooler, all of you guys and gals who are hanging out the water cooler, come on in and relax. Get away from the water cooler. Don't talk about what happened last night. If you want to talk about what happened last night, talk about it with us. We love to talk here. And so we'll be waiting for you to get involved with us. Okay, so that's what we got going right now. And so you know the score with that. Now, during the course of the show, also, we have our own little thing that we implement in our show, as well as talking to you. For instance, we've got sports coming up in this particular hour. As a matter of fact, in this particular half hour of the hour, we're going to call on Brian Camp. Brian Camp is our sports guy. He's coming in with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. He's coming in live from Charlotte, North Carolina. And if you don't know it, that you'll get a chance to actually see him. If you're watching us on Facebook and YouTube, he's there. You'll get a chance to see him right on the screen. And if you have any sports-related questions of any kind, please feel free. Come on in and give him the information or the questions that you may have, and he'll answer the questions. They're sports related. And we got a lot of sports to talk about, So you got baseball. The baseball season is still here in effect. And who is your favorite team? That's something that you want to discuss too. We can discuss it, sports and everything. But that's coming on later on in the program. Now, for you who are watching us on Instagram, you won't get the luxury of watching Brian, actually seeing him on the air, because we don't have the luxury of actually putting him on the air on screen. That's only for our viewers on Facebook and YouTube. But if you desire to stay there, you'll get a chance to hear him as if he was on the radio. And so you'll hear him, and Of course, you could still do the same thing, ask questions, and you could still hear your answers as he answer all the questions for you. So now that we got that straight, you know the score. That's what we got going. And later on in the program, before the show is over, we've got those movies. Now each week we go into Turner Classic Movies. We go down the list and find out what's happening. And if I find out something that's worth watching that I think that you may like, of course, I put that on my bucket list for you to watch to add to your bucket list of what to watch. Yeah, I do that each week. I go on Turner Classic Movies and select some kind of movies that I think that you're going to enjoy. Them. They're called my picks of the week, and I have those for you. And so even though that you may be resourceful and you know where to go to find the movies that you like, I just want to add mine to it because you may just enjoy it. All right. So hang out for that. That's coming up later on in the program. Remember, all of the views and the opinions expressed on this show, The Coffee Hour, does not necessarily reflect the view or the opinions of the people of Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or any other, or Zoom, or any other social media outlet or broadcast facility. So with that being said, why don't we do what we normally do? Let's raise our cups because after all, what would the coffee hour be without a little coffee? So excuse me while I shoot up. That's great. That's marvelous. I want to say hello to, I'm looking at something. Something came on, I'm watching on Instagram. It says Frank, New York One. Now I'm wondering, is that Frank from New York One TV in New York? Obviously New York, right? Is that you, Frank? Am I talking to the right person? He does the all of the things on TV for the if you like musicals, and he's a reporter for musicals. I think that's him. It just says Frank NY1. So I'm thinking New York One. If that's you, Frank, thank you for dropping by. Great to see you. And yeah, I'd be watching your show. And also want to say hello to people who are coming in. I want to say hello to Warren Dantzler. He's watching us on Facebook. And he's right there in Greensboro, North Carolina. And I just want to say hello to him. And Warren, if you give us your weather forecast, you already know the score, right? You already know the score. And speaking of that, if you are living outside of New York City, because that's where we originate, that's where we're coming from, outside of New York City. And if you have any, of course, you have weather. What we want you to do, if you indulge in conversation with us, right? And if you don't say anything, of course, I will see you. But if you don't say anything, then of course, I'm not going to say anything. The only reason why I said something to Frank, even though he didn't say anything, the only reason why I pointed him out because he was so familiar. We've got a celeb in the house with us. So just want to wave to him. So for the rest of you guys, if you're living outside of New York, you could live on the other side of the world, outside New York in a different town or something like that. All of us, we do not share the same weather. So if you would, give us your weather forecast, and it doesn't have to be a full-blown weather forecast. It could be a simple emoji, like it's sunny skies, 75 degrees, cloudy, or cloudy emoji, a sunny emoji, or something like that, rainy emoji. You know, the reason why we do that is we like to compare notes with the weather that we have here in New York with the weather that you may have wherever you are. All right. We just like to compare notes. Now, keep in mind, it's not mandatory that you do that. You know, we're not gonna eject you or anything because you don't feel like doing it. It's just okay. But I'm just asking. I'm just asking. And most people do it when I ask them to do it. Now, for you guys who live in New York, you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about you dodged a bullet. You don't have to worry about giving us your weather forecast if you're in here from New York City, because I am going to take care of that for you. And I'm going to take care of that in just a few minutes from now. But for the rest of you, please do that for us. Okay, here we are in the very, very month of May. Here we are, May 2nd. It's May 2nd. May 2nd, the second day of May. And this is our very first show in the brand new month of May. Okay. And what do they say? They say April showers bring May flowers. Well, of course, that's pretty true because if you look outside your window, depending on where you are, if you're around a lot of clouds or maybe a lot of clouds of trees, I should say. Maybe you have a gang of tree around you. You can see it, they're budding. Some people live in areas where they have those trees that produce the cherry blossoms, right? The nice, pretty pink ones, when they bud out, they're all budding out. You know, look outside your window and you can see the budding of the trees. And that just shows a good sign that summer is on its way. However, we are in the state of spring now. We're here in spring. And before you know it, summertime will be around. We've got holidays coming up. People are getting ready to travel. At least some people are getting ready to travel, however you travel, by plane, train, or whatever it is. People taking vacations. Usually the summertime months are the months where people just like to get away and go to vacations. Now, if you live someplace where it's like really hot, you may want to vacation someplace where it's a little cooler, or vice versa, right? However, people are doing that. And then people are going to do things like outdoor barbecues in their backyards, you know, invite your family and friends over. They're going to be doing like that's what the summer is all about. Summer wouldn't be summer without those things, right? Warren gave us his temperature 77 degrees right now. That's what he has presently in Greensboro, North Carolina. And he tells me it's going to go to a high of 83 degrees out there. Chance of rain will be developing. Okay. And so that's what we have in Greensboro, North Carolina. For the rest of you, you give us yours, and I'll give you mine in just a few minutes. But I want to welcome you to May. And of course, this month of May, we'll be celebrating a couple of things. One of the things that we're celebrating in the month of May, and you may want to jot this down because all this month of May, we're going to be talking about it, Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Or you can just simply say Asian American Heritage Month. All right. So that's what we're celebrating this week. And of course, to all of my Asian brothers and sisters who are under the sound of my voice, wherever you are, maybe you out there in your home cities, or maybe in your home birthplace, your countrymen, with your countrymen out there and countrywomen. We want to wish you a happy holiday. Now, you may have things that you may want to talk about, your heritage. You could share it with us. Maybe there are certain celebrations to commemorate the holiday for you. We would like to know about it, and we would like to steer everyone to that because maybe they want to attend. We want to share the holidays with everybody, all of these things with everyone. So that's what we want to do. And so if there are any events that you know about, and you would like to share it with us, maybe maybe we want to talk about your heritage or maybe the history of everything. We're open ears because that's what the show is all about. We get everybody involved in the show. That's Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. What else are we celebrating? Jewish American Heritage Month as well. Okay, so now I have some Asian brothers and sisters. I have some Jewish brothers and sisters, and we're going to be celebrating that too. We not too long ago got over the Jewish holiday. All right. So, but all month long, we're celebrating, and we're going to celebrate that too. Again, I'll say to you as well, if you want to talk about your heritage, we would love to talk about. I love to talk about other people's heritage. I'm a very cultural guy, and besides my own heritage, I like to hone in on others and listen to what they have to say and celebrate them as well. So that's what we're celebrating, Jewish American Heritage Month. And so let's talk about that as well. And that's taken down the line. All right. And invite your friends and families too, because we all want to celebrate with you. Also, here's something that we're going to also celebrate too. It's National Military Appreciation Month as well. Now we know that this month is Memorial. At the end of the month is it Memorial Day? Okay, that has to do with the military, but for all month long, we are celebrating National Military Appreciation Day, Appreciation Month, I should say, because we do appreciate all of the men and women who are involved in the military, whether you've done it in the past, whether you're doing it in the present, and whether you have aspirations of becoming a military person in advance, we would like to tell you that we really appreciate everything that you have done for this country. I salute you. They always salute with the right hand, but I am going to salute you with the left hand too. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to salute you with both hands. All right. And applaud you guys at the same time. You guys are doing a marvelous job. We have the best military force in the world here in the United States, the best. And they put their tails out on the line every day so we can enjoy the freedom that we so rightly deserve in this country. All right. And we thank you so much for that. All right. Times get a little hard every now and then. We already know that. But you guys are troopers. You guys are troopers and you hang in there. And it's easy for us to say, okay, yeah, they're military guys, but we have to realize if you stay focused and see what they're doing and see how they're doing things and stay focused with that, you'll really appreciate them. So I just want you to know, speaking for myself, I appreciate you guys from the military, and that's why we have National Military Appreciation Month. Okay. Also, on the health side, and everyone should get involved in this one. Everyone should get involved in this. It's National Blood Pressure Education Month. Yes, it is. And of course, you ought to check that out, especially if you get older. You get older and you want to make sure that that your blood pressure is in total check. Well, we put a month aside for that. Okay. So please, when you go to your doctor, be proactive, have your blood pressure check. As a matter of fact, you can get those blood pressure instruments that you can check your own blood pressure at all time. I do it, and everyone else should do it. So that's something that's put aside too. Also, we're celebrating this Monday. I won't be on the air, but I'm telling you now, this Monday, the 5th, is Cinco de Mayo Monday. And so you get out the sombreros and break out the Corona beers and let's have a little fun. That's Monday, Cinco de Mayo. Everybody's celebrating. I'm going to be celebrating. All right. And of course, we have today, you can't make this up, National Truffle Day. All right. You love your truffles, chocolate truffles, vanilla truffles. That's what's happening. I don't have any truffles, but the closest I came to is what I had left over from last night. This is a chocolate toffee, which is quite delicious. So, in commemoration of National Truffle Day, have me a toffee. Okay, enough of that. I think we should move on because Brian Camp is with us, right? And I promise you that I will bring him along because right now he has the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. And let me repeat myself that if you have any sports related questions, anything at all, bring it to him. Bring your dreams to him. Bring your questions to him because he has all the answers. I don't have the answers. I am not a sports guy. I love sports, but he's much better at it than I am. So, Ryan, you are the king right now. So take over your duties as sports guy.
I wouldn't say I was always better than you are. I mean, I did learn partly from you and
Yeah, maybe other things,
family.
but not sports, not sports. I learned from you from sports.
Well, I put more into it nowadays. As a kid, I put more into it, played it, basketball, football, baseball, did a little bit of everything. So I mean,
The only, the,
and then just to do the research of it also makes it more interesting as well too. Um,
the only thing I know is entertainment. That's the only thing. Records, music, when I was a disc jockey. All that, that's all I know. I'm very good at that. I can tell you that. But other than
well,
that,
we all
sports.
we all have our strengths in different
Yeah,
areas of life.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So how's it
I mean,
going? What's up?
as a kid, I always wanted to. Actually, when I went to college, I took up journalism. That was my minor. My major was computer science, but journalism was something I wanted to do. I wanted to have my own talk show of
Mhm.
sports, or just be a sports anchor on the 11 o'clock news or the 6 o'clock news. That was something. Imitate certain announcers over the years.
Yeah.
Have a little pencil, talk to people.
What?
And
Listen, you know something? I did encourage you one time to get your own sports show. I said you
Yeah,
could get your own sports show, but you could still be here if you want. I encourage
yeah.
you to do that. You said no.
I know. I had a career in New York City, so it wasn't much that I could really do. I didn't have enough time to squeeze that in. But
Uh, yeah,
you'll see me waking up even on school times and school days where um, just listening to the game on the radio. Um, I remember the Muhammad Ali Joe Frazier fight. I was approximately 9 years old. My mother said, go to bed. But then, I had the radio under the covers and everything, just listening to sport games. Because back then in the 70s, it wasn't a lot of televised games or fights that was on during that time. So you had
hmm
to listen to and imagine yourself at the garden for these boxing matches, with announcers saying, Ali coming back, he's coming back hard, and just certain things. And Nick basketball, it was growing up in the 70s, and listening to Marv Albert and then the Brooklyn Nets with John Sterling doing the Nets and games out there in Uniondale, Long Island, So it was always TV was there, but they didn't really televise a lot of home games. So we had
hmm
to, listen, and I used to keep score while they doing the games. It was really fun, But
yeah.
now technology totally different now, because you
It's
got that monster box where you can watch anything around the world whenever you want, you know. So,
Yeah,
it-
I've been watching a lot of Canadian TV too,
yeah,
TV from Canada. They
yeah,
have some interesting
exactly.
programs too.
Rugby,
Yeah,
hockey, absolutely. If
yeah,
you have, what they have today, that monster box, imagine they had that back in the 70s. I know TV technology was totally different back then, but it
yeah.
was it was great. It was really
Well,
great.
well,
Now, and now it's even greater.
growing up as a kid, we only had, and I'm telling my age here, not the exact number though. Growing up as a kid, we only had 7 channels, and they were all local channels. 7 channels. And we had black and white TV because we didn't have the luxury of having a color TV back in those days. It was a rich man's luxury back then. Color TV was a rich man's or rich woman's luxury back in those days. So we had the color TV with the
Yeah.
rabbit ears antenna.
And then on 1 a.m., at 1 a.m., they used to sing the Star Spangled Banner, which means they're going to cut everything off.
That's right. That's right. They used to sign off on TV. Even the networks did it. ABC used to do it. They used to sign up for a certain night, and then they would sign on again at 6 in the morning.
Yeah. And then listening to those horror shows on the
Yeah,
radio, the theater,
yeah,
it's
that's
so
right.
so suspense and everything. Oh yeah. I mean, I caught the tail end of it though, but I think I was
Yeah,
born perfectly, just right, 1962. We're going into the old, into the new, and everything. But it's
yeah,
always good to have that, for you and everything.
yeah.
So
Well, the old wasn't bad either. I had fun listening to stuff on radio too. It was great. But see,
absolutely.
I when I was born, TV already came into existence. So I got to see TV, and then I got to hear the radio shows as well. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had I had the best of both worlds.
Exactly. Now we could watch anything we want when we want. If we miss it, we just rewind it, record it. I mean,
And boom.
imagine 24 hours, not enough hours in the day to try to catch up everything? Why couldn't it
Nope.
be like 36 hours in a day, where we could catch everything? But that's the great thing that you could always go back.
Yeah.
So so
Warren
good
says,
morning,
let's
good
go
evening, good
next.
afternoon to you all, whoever's out there, wherever you are around this globe. I'm coming to you live from the Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina, where it is presently 75 degrees, going up to 84. It's been in the 80s all week. I was going to go outside, but it's too much noise, the sun and everything. So I said, let me just stay right here. Uh, Last night I was in the entertainment wing of the man cave, so today I'm downstairs in the kitchen, in the pantry. Forgot to close that door behind me. I don't want y'all to see what I have in there. Yeah, nothing bad, but um, the NFL draft is now long gone. Um, Little controversy stuff that's been going on with Shador Sanders. You know, um, his father, Deion Sanders, Hall of Famer, won brown jacket, won 2 Super Bowls, was telling people some months ago and even recently that he's gonna, certain teams are not gonna have his draft his son. And it's only, listen, it was okay for Archie Manning doing it to his sons, Peyton Manning and Eli Manning, but it's not okay for Deion Sanders to say this. I mean, Deion Sanders is a Hall of Famer. Archie Manning wasn't a Hall of Famer, So um, if you're going to criticize one, you got to criticize both. Archie Manning did not get that slack like Deion Sanders was is given, and it's really sad how we live in today's world where is bias, depending on where or how you lean from the right to the left. Um, you know, I want to get into politics, but you know how I feel about politics in general. I don't like neither party or all three parties. I think they're full of it. But I just think that it was so wrong for them to have this young man as a fifth round draft choice who lost approximately $40 million, where he was a top two, top three quarterback in the draft and a top 10 player overall, and drafted in the fifth round, 144th to be exact. And you're going to tell me this wasn't personal? Of course it was personal. It was personal, and we all see it. You don't leave a player, a player like him, like Shador Sanders, on the board and not draft him. So, was there some race involved? Listen, people always say, why there always got to be race? Why it got to be race? Because there's always is. It's always is about race, whether it's disguised or not disguised. You could do it undercover or you could do it bluntly. Okay. So please stop it. Um, I don't think it was totally racist, but it had something to do with it. Um, as much as I'm on social media, yes, it was, but it was also hate, also jealousy. It was hate on even blacks on blacks, and it was just ridiculous. Even we had a story here. The Atlanta Falcons was fined $250,000 because defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich's son took his phone, his computer, and called Shador Sanders and prank called him and said, well, we're going to sign you to our team and everything. Shador was, amazed. He was happy. And then the prank call comes in. But the team was fined $250,000. The coach was fined $100,000. But the son who did this prank call, I hope he got an ass whipping. And I'm going to be very blunt about this. I know we on FCC airways, but ass is not a curse anymore. I mean, I've seen preachers in the pulpit use the word ass. Okay, so ass is not a bad word anymore. But he should have got his ass rocked to put this out, a prank call on Shador Sanders. You don't know, you just don't know how many athletes, football athletes who train as from being little to now to college, who want to come into the pros. They wait for this moment, this exciting moment to rejoice, to have be emotional, just to have a prank call. Come on. Come on, really? Thank goodness father addressed it, apologized. But if he was my son, mm, he would have been whipped And I mean, really whipped. I would like to see, and he's a 21-year-old man. I'm not gonna call him no kid because he's 21, so he's a man. He's a grown ass man, and he should have got his ass whipped. But he wasn't the only one. It was four other players who also got prank calls, not related to Shadur Sanders, but these people around doing these here things. How do they get a hold of the telephone numbers to these here players? To prank call them. It's just not right. Um, I hope the NFL do more to investigate and to secure some of these players and with their identity and everything. So that's what happened with Shador Sanders. I hope he have a marvelous career, a great career, and hope that his father continues to stay in his life. I hope he stays in his life and do the right thing. That's my take on it. So the New York Knicks are moving on to play the world champions Boston Celtics in round 2 in the semifinals of the Eastern Conference. So now it's stage set. The old time rivalry, Knicks and Celtics. That was a rivalry back in the 70s. Back in the 80s, Larry Bird and Bernard King used to go at it. So, we're looking for a good series. We don't know. Boston's a heavily favorite. They are the world champions. I don't know if the Knicks will have enough firepower to stay with them. But that series starts in a couple of days. Also, we had a game last night, game 7 of the Western Conference first round, where the Clippers stay alive. My man Kawhi Leonard and took his team to a game 7. You'll see that tomorrow. You'll see that game tomorrow, 7:30 on TNT. That should be your Saturday game. It should be exciting, close game. Anytime you have a game 7, it's going to be really tense, and we hope that everybody enjoy. And so we're ready for sports. Major League Baseball is here. The NHL hockey. If some of you watch hockey, yes, I watch hockey. I don't report it, but yes, hockey is probably one of the most intense playoff sport that we have. Yes, the regular season is boring in hockey, but if you see that end-to-end hockey, back and forth, it's just exciting with the NBA playoffs. So check your local listings of your favorite teams or who's still left in the playoffs as well. Major League Baseball is in full gear right now. As you know, the Yankees and the Mets in the local New York area doing very well, I must say. I think they're both in first place. And as the weather gets hotter, you're going to see more fans coming out more and more. Tennis is not where it should be because school is still open. So that's another reason why tennis is not where it should be at. And the WNBA is right around the corner. This day in sports, May 2nd, 1920, the first National Negro Baseball League played in Indianapolis. 1923, Major League Baseball Washington Senators Walter Johnson pitches his 100th career shutout. 1939, New York Yankee Lou Gehrig ends his 2,130 consecutive game streak without missing. It ended on this day in 1939. 1958, the New York Yankees threatened to broadcast games nationwide if the National League goes broadcast in New York City. I wasn't around then, but I could imagine what it was like with that kind of technology over there during that time. 1988, Pete Rose, manager of the Cincinnati Reds, is suspended for 30 days for pushing an umpire. 1989, also that same year, 1999, John Elway announces a retirement from the NFL. Birthdays on this day, 1887, Hall of Famer Eddie Collins, Major League Baseball infielder, American League MVP in 1914, was born in Millerton, New York. 1939, Gates Brown, Major League Baseball outfielder for the Detroit Tigers, was born in Crestline, Ohio. And what we got here? We got in 1953, happy birthday to Jamal Wilkes, formerly known as Keith Wilkes. He went into the Nation of Islam, became Jamal Wilkes, played for the UCLA Bruins, had a wonderful career with the LA Lakers and the Golden State Warriors, was born. It was a forward, a small forward, was born in Berkeley, California. And happy birthday on this day, 1987, to Pat McAfee, NFL kicker, punter, and ESPN and WWE wrestler fighter, was born in Plum, Pennsylvania. And ladies and gentlemen, that is sports on a beautiful day here in the Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina.
Just for your information, just so you know, the word ass is in the Bible, but they don't use it in the contents that we use it here or any other mortal would use. But the word ass is in the Bible.
Yeah, it's referring
to the animal. Yeah. But yeah, that's in the Bible. But I see what you're saying. And by the way, we have nothing to do with the FCC. So we say what we want.
Yeah. So then I could say to a horse, go get your ass over there. Move your ass over here. Sit your ass down.
You can say anything you want. Listen, I'm not going to stop. There's certain words that I won't say on the air. I will say I've mentioned the word ass and things like that. And I call a certain person a son of a bitch, because that's exactly what they are. But other than that, I don't use the MF word. And now, if someone else came on the show and they used it, it's done. What could I say?
Exactly.
What could I say? They use it. I could either say, okay, you're not going to get penalized, and we're not going to get in trouble because you used the word. And I could say, but please don't use the word on this show. Or I could say, go ahead, feel free.
Exactly.
Exactly. But it's good to be not under the FCC rules. That's only for terrestrial radio and mainstream TV. Cable use certain words that you would normally hear on regular TV or terrestrial radio. So we're free as birds here.
That's okay. Fine.
We say what we think.
That's it. No holds barred. Okay.
Yeah. One other thing, I don't know if you mentioned it last night, and I certainly didn't hear it this morning, but we didn't acknowledge the death of Dick Barnett.
Yes, Dick Barnett, Dr. Dick Barnett. He was a doctor after he retired. He's former New York Knicks great. He used to play for the Lakers. He started out with the Lakers in the early 60s, and then he moved to play for the New York Knicks, was part of the 2 championship titles in 1970 and 1973. Dick Barnett had a strange shot making. They call it a fallback baby jumper. He I don't know what he died from. I saw that, I read it, but it didn't say what he died from. But he was a fixture in New York City. He was the backcourt partner of Walt Clyde Frazier. He died and passed away at 88 years old. Many of you don't know him unless if you live in the New York area, tri-state area. He was friendly guy to what I've read. He was a friendly guy. Never met him. My favorite player of all time was his backcourt partner, Walt Frazier. I used to, as a kid, I used to take out my white T-shirts and cut them up. Take a magic marker and put
make a jersey, huh?
And guess who got their ass whipped? Yeah.
And you write your own number with a Sharpie.
Was pissed off because she spent the money for me to have these hair clothes, and Betty Camp was no joke. She just said, "Fool," she never cursed like what people do today, but those beatings were real.
Yeah. Well, listen, that's how it was. That's how it was. They spend their hard-earned money, but at the same time, you were being creative.
Yeah.
Or you thought you were being creative. You want to make your own jersey. You want to be a Knick. You cut your shirt, and you write your own number on your. You made a jersey. You made your own jersey.
That's right. That's
That
right.
was that was part of growing up. We all
Yeah,
did that.
that's right. So,
Anyway,
well,
go ahead.
go ahead.
No, go ahead. What you were
No,
gonna say?
I was going to say, those were good. Those were good times back then. Disciplined times. But that's what it
Yeah.
is. It was what it was. And Warren says best. How about kiss my ass?
Yeah, Warren never actually say the words. He never actually say the words. As you could see right there, he just doesn't use those
Well, he don't
words.
want to get thrown off of Facebook. So there's Facebook jail too. So I've been in Facebook jail one time for a week. Yeah.
Oh man, I've
It
been
wasn't
under
over
the
politics. It was just going back and forth doing sports.
I've been under the jail with Facebook.
Yeah.
So I know, and they can put you in there. I don't know. They just seem to put you in there for any reason they want.
Oh yeah.
You know.
But they don't get me for politics because it's always about sports. So
Mhm.
but when they get
Well,
personal and they start talking about your personal business or your family, that's when I
yeah,
get off. I don't, that means you lost the argument, that you lost the debate when you got to go there and everything. So,
yeah, absolutely. Well, Brian, what's happening for the weekend? Pretty
I'm
soon you're
gonna
gonna
make
be
a
breaking
I'm
out
gonna make a
that
dish that
smoker,
haven't
right?
no smoking this week. That's gonna be the following week.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna This week, Sunday, I'm gonna use the slow cooker, the crock
Mhm.
pot. I'll make some curry goat. I'm gonna have a little potatoes or rice and peas, and that's what I'm gonna have. So I'm gonna use the crock pot while I'm in church. Because the crock pot, you could let it cook for 6 to 7 hours, and you could be in
Mhm.
church, and you could see the end. As I get closer to home, you could down the block, you could smell that curry goat. So
That lets you know all is well.
all is well. So I tell you all before I get off, listen, make sure you have a nice weekend, everybody. Warren, you all. And I'm going to say one more thing. For game 7 tomorrow, sit your ass on the couch and watch that game.
Okay. All right. Well, let me get my ass back to this show. Have a good weekend. Talk
Bye.
to you later. That's Brian Camp, ladies and gentlemen, with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. Brian is here each week at this time, and of course, he brings us the sports. And of course, if you at any time have any questions that's sports related, you could either wait next week or you could deliver the questions now, and I'll just relay them to him, and he'll bring back the answers for you the following week. So that's what we have. But we're glad to have you aboard with us. And if you're just joining us, the name of the show is called The Coffee Hour. And we're just here having a little fun, as we always do each week. And we thank you so much for being along with us. And if you desire to join in conversation, that's great. We would love to talk about it. Uh, but if you do, give us a weather forecast. If you have one in your area, a weather forecast in your area that's worth talking about, and it's not that you have to do it or it's something that's mandatory. It's nothing like that. It's just something that we'd like to ask you to do, uh, just to break up the monotony of life. I guess I don't know. I don't know. But give us your weather forecast. But if you're in New York, don't worry about it because I'm going to cover it right now. As a matter of fact, I put it off because usually I do it at the top of the hour before Brian comes on. We have to get Brian on, but I'm going to do mine right now. If you're just joining us, it's 68 degrees in New York City right now. And we're going to have sunny skies today, sunshine and clouds mixed. A stray of afternoon a thunderstorm is possible. We'll have a high 84 degrees. Winds will be southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. For tonight, partly cloudy skies, a slight chance of rain, and we'll have a low 63. Winds will be south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And we're going to stay up in the 80s for Saturday because it's going to be partly cloudy in the morning. Thunderstorms developing late in the day. We'll have a high of 81 degrees. Winds will be south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain, 70%. It's not going to be a total washout, but we will get a little wet. And for Saturday night, thunderstorms during the evening And then it's going to be cloudy skies overnight. We'll have a low 61, winds, light and variable chance of rain 60%. And when you go out to church, you might want to take your umbrella with you. All right, because we're going to get cloudy skies with potential showers for the afternoon. I guess that's the afternoon, but if you're going to church in the morning. But Mother Nature sometimes throw a curveball, so take your umbrella just in case. You know, the new folding ones that you have. It's going to be potential heavy rain, and we'll have a high around 69 degrees. Winds will be southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain down to 50%. Repeating our current temperature, we have 68 degrees outdoors. And right now, as we speak in New York, the sun is peekaboo. It's in and out of the shadows. But there you have it. That's the weather for this weekend. Now, sometimes it may say rain. I always look forward to Saturday. Saturday's going to rain, but hopefully, Mother Nature will have a little mercy on us and say, hey, enjoy your weekend. We'll wait till the after the weekend, and then we'll come down pouring. You have to have the rain in the forecast at some time, but maybe Saturday, loosen up a little bit, Mother Nature. We really would appreciate that. Okay, thank you so much for being along with us for this Friday, the coffee hour. And so there we have it. We're a little late doing what we're doing, but that's okay. We'll muddle through whatever we have to do. Turmoil at 60 Minutes spilled over behind the scenes to in front of the camera over the last weekend, and a rare on-air rebuke last Sunday. Longtime correspondent, the CBS magazine show 60 Minutes, Scott Paley, said that the broadcaster's parent company Paramount had become heavy-handed in its oversight. His comments came in response to executive producer Bill Owens, who had his resignation. He's resigned from the show last week. Owens resigned after saying he had lost journalistic independence. Announcing his resignation, Owens wrote in an internal memo seen by Reuters that it had become clear that he would not be allowed to run the show as he always ran it, or to make independent decisions. And that after defending the show from every angle over time, with everything I could, he elected to step down. And Paley's comments come as the Trump administration bears down on media outlet in view as biased or over-critical. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Foundation is pulling back the curtain on its 2025 inductees, a powerhouse lineup of trailblazing acts, defying actors or artists who have shaped the soundtrack of our lives. The inductees include pop icons Cyndi Lauper, hip-hop duo Outkast, garage rockers, the White Stripes, and others. This year's announcement was fittingly delivered live Sunday night by Ryan Seacrest on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame episode of the American Idol setting the stage for the celebration of one of music's highest honors. From beloved animated films to new shows vying for Emmy consideration, Netflix may release include a number of returning favorites and originals. New releases include the Oscar-nominated animated film The Wild Robot and Fear Street. That's upcoming Prom Queen, and that was directed by Matt Palmer. The 8th and final episode of Big Mouth, featuring guest stars Cynthia Arvio and Quinta Bronson and Holly Hunter. The new limited series Sirens, starring Julianne Moore and Kevin Bacon, and the 4th volume of Love, Death of Robots, which features 10 brand new stories. Season 2 of Ted Danson's A Man on Inside could be another, you could see another familiar face join the cast. None other than Dick Van Dyke is a big fan of the Netflix comedy series that sees Danson, plays a retired professor who goes undercover for a private investigator inside the retirement home. Now Van Dyke says he is interested in making an appearance on the upcoming season. When asked what show he's interested or what show that he's into right now that he could see himself starring or guest starring in, the actor's wife, Arlene Silver, revealed he's a fan of Danson-led series and that the couple is good friends with Danson. Chapel Roan has signed a foundation's music for management after cutting ties with her previous manager last November. News of the signing came from the foundation music partner, Drew Simmons, who has served as Noah Kahan's manager for over a decade. Simmons said he is thrilled to be working with Chapel Roan. It's an honor to be welcoming her to the foundation. And the company's website features a landing page welcoming Roan to the foundation music family. And Representative of Rome confirmed the sign on Variety, or to Variety. Birthdays today. The late Angela Bofield, R&B singer, died. She passed away sometime, and she would have been 71 today. And the late Leslie Gore, pop singer, would have been 79 today. Model actress Bianca Jagger is 80 years old today. Singer Engelbert Humperdinck is 89. And the late actor Roscoe Lee Brown would have been 103. And children's show host Pinky Lee. The only people that would remember Pinky Lee would be people like me and older and maybe a bit younger from the 50s. He would have been 118 years old. So happy birthday to all of them. And if you don't remember Pinky Lee, he used to have his little jingle, "It's you, it's me, my name is Pinky Lee." But anyway, happy birthday to them all, the people who are alive today. Thank you. Happy birthday to you and to Pinky Lee and the rest who are no longer with us. But we do remember you and we celebrate your birthday. And we thank you so much for that. Okay, it's time to give you those movies because this weekend, right, we have movies to give you because you may want to check them out. They may be movies that you haven't seen in a long time, so we just want to add to our bucket list. So I'm going to quickly go right through them. The first one is Scanner from 1981, starring Michael Ironside, Stephen Lack, and Jennifer O'Neill. That's on Turner Classic Movies. That's Saturday at 12:15 a.m. Eastern. Village of the Damned from 1960, George Sanders, Barbara Shelley, and Martin Stephen. Turner Classic Movies. That's Saturday at 12:15 a.m. Eastern. And you have Children of the Dam from 1964, starring Ian Hendry, Allan Bedell, and Barbara Ferris. And that's Turner Classic Movies Saturday at 4 a.m. Eastern. And finally, on Turner Classic Movies, there's National Velvet from 1945, starring Mickey Rooney, Donald Crisp, and Elizabeth Taylor. And you can check that out Saturday at 5:45 a.m. Eastern. If you can't check them out in real time, or if the time is not good for you, DVR them. Now, that's all Turner Classic Movies. Now, here's something that if you have Peacock or Amazon or Tubi, Tubi is a free app. So if you don't have Peacock or Amazon, go on Tubi and check out this movie called Till. It's the story of Emmett Till. You know the story of Emmett Till, who got murdered in 1955 at the age of 14 years old. Well, this is his story, and it's a good movie. It stars Danielle Deadwyler, Jalen Hall, Haley Bennett, Whoopi Goldberg, and Frankie Faison. All right, it's called Till. It's a good movie. Check it out. You can check it out on Peacock, Amazon, and the free app called Tubi. All right, and I think you'll like it. And if you want to go to Turner Classic Movies and check out all of the other movies that I didn't mention, only because this is my pick of the week. All right, these are my picks of the week. And you can go there and check out other movies. and find out something that you may like. And then while you're there on demand, you can check out all of the sports stuff. And there's children program documentaries, all kinds of great things that you may want to indulge in. Okay, so there you go. So enjoy these movies. I think you're going to like them. They're great movies, and especially Till. Till is it keeps you. It depends on how you feel. It may make you angry. It may make you cry. It may, but you'll enjoy it. The story of Emmett Till. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to end it for me. My weekend is officially underway. Yours will be too. Just a few hours. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to come back here next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern for Talk Back Live. Brian Camp is going to be along with me, and he's going to bring us the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. Other than that, I'm going to come back here next Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern for more of the Coffee Hour. You, me, and Brian Kent will be here with the latest developments in today's world of sports, and I will be looking forward to seeing you then. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a great day, a great weekend, and a wonderful Cinco de Mayo day on Monday. Until then, take care of yourself, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
You've been watching the Coffee Hour with your host Frank Allen. The producer has been Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer Donna Stenke. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the Coffee Hour.